All right, morning everyone. Feels a little bit foreign making a video. I've had probably since Christmas off, I think. Might have been the odd one here or there, but nothing serious. Not that this is serious, but yeah, it's been a while. So I'll fill you in what's happened. Quite a bit's happened actually. We've only got 16, 17 degrees. It's only morning, so it's got plenty of time to get hot, but I think it's only going to get to 30 today anyway. Yeah, it's only going to get to 30, so yeah, not too bad. So yeah, keys for the house, we got them. That was probably one of the last videos I made. Keys for the house, tenants actually moved in on Friday, so today's like the 22nd of Feb or something like that. They got the keys on the 20th. So ball's rolling, all good. I'll whack in some pictures. I did take some pictures, but I think I deleted them. So all good. He's put the filler in there, so you can't walk through there. Plenty of room underneath there for the grass, because the grass is coming right to the end of the house. So yep, that's good. And then we got the fence and the gate. It's the best. So the original plan was to go from that pillar out and then across, but I wasn't allowed to do that. You have to have a 1.5 meter truncation from your garage door, because otherwise you cannot see until your car's already in the lane. You might clean someone up, so they wouldn't let me do that, and you can't do it on an angle because the gate wouldn't work. So that's how it had to be. That was the maximum I could do it. But yeah, pretty secure, so that's good now, so we don't have to worry about and another thing, I couldn't go any higher than 1.8, which is what this is. It couldn't have been that height, that's why there's a step there. Any more than what I have to get engineering approval. So 1.8 or under, no dramas, you do what you want, as long as it's 1.8 or under and, you know, satisfying their setbacks and stuff, which is the drama we have here. Any more than that, then it's engineering approval. I couldn't, so you can see this guy's fence is here and their fence is near the curb, but mine has to be there. So any new works that happens, this started probably 10 years ago. So obviously this house has not been touched within 10, and same with that one. If they were to do any major renos, they'd have to knock that fence back 600 mil, which is what this is. So eventually when all the blocks get some work done to them, this lane ends up being 1.2 meters wider. You can see this person over here. This might have been the first house that it happened to, because this house has been here quite a long time, probably 10 years, 15 years, something like that. So you can see their fence is set back off the curb. That's why. So yeah, eventually when everyone does, but you can see down there's some brick, like pretty new stuff that's right on it. So yeah, I don't know, but anyway, that's obviously more than 10 years. So the plan is to so we'll talk about this retaining wall in a minute, but yeah, retaining wall, and then I'm going to get some trailer loads of some nice soil to fill in all these gaps here and here, and put some grass. So when the grass comes on Monday, they're going to leave me all the leftovers, so there might be enough grass to do. I'm probably going to attack this area first with grass, just to keep it down. Keep this kind of stuff. That's all this mess is from the fence, guys, so that's not normally like that. But yeah, I'm probably going to put grass on that slope. I don't want to put flowers because you're probably going to end up walking over this, so I'll probably put grass there, and then from the fence that way put soil. Yeah, I think that's the plan. I don't know until I start doing it, as most projects. Definitely over there is going to be soil. You got no need to walk over there, or you can't get through. That's not a gate, so you can't get through there. So yeah, it is what it is over there. So I think soil would be good to fill that in. Soil, mulch, rocks, whatever, I'm not sure. Grass here, soil there, and then on this side, I'm thinking about a retaining wall. But I'd like to do it as cheaply as possible, not because I'm a cheapskate, it's not my, well, it is my house, but it's not for me. I don't think tenants are really gonna look after it they might, but they might not. So you can see, so he only accounted for one plinth, which was okay, that's fine. So we're gonna have to build this all back up, so that's okay. So what I'm thinking is, I'll put some pictures in, I've seen them at Bunnings. They're a galvanised post, so they're flat on one side and then a C shape on the other. Well, it's a C shape on one, and then for your middle ones it's a C shape on both sides, and then obviously a C shape for one over there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Is we may even work on that, maybe not today, well maybe today. I can pace it out pretty accurately. All I'm thinking is putting them in, and then buy some 2.4 meter sleepers, wooden Jarrah sleepers. They're 50mm thick, and just slot them in, and they're 200mm high each one. So I think two, so they're 400mm high. I think we'll be on a winner there. Then that way, obviously you're going to build that up 400mm, and then we'll fill it all in. You won't have this gap anymore because we're going to fill it in on that side, fill it in on this side, and we're all good. And then there'll be a garden bed then. So I think we'll be fine. I think that'll work out well. The only other option is to bring in soil and just fill it in, and hopefully it doesn't wash this way when it rains. It will. I can guarantee it, and it's just going to be a mess. So I think I'm going to I'll measure it up roughly. Roughly is good enough. Well, let's do it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say 6 meters. So 2.4, 4.8. So you'll need 6 bits of. So we're looking at 6 bits of wood, 12 bits of wood, because it's going to be. Oh, sorry, no, 3. So you got 2.4. Let's do this because I'm even more accurate if I do this. 1, 2. There's the first one. 1, 2. There's the second one. 1. Yeah, you need 3. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. So 6 bits of wood. They're only $35 each, I think they are. So that's okay. They'll fit in the wagon at 2.4. And then you need one C cup. I think they do a 900mm length, which is what you want. So you got 400mm up and the rest in the ground. Bit of concrete done. Bag of concrete in each one probably. There's only going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 bags of concrete will do 4. We'll do 4 of them, no problems. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So a C cup there, a C cup at that end, and then a double C in there, and a double C here, and you're done. So 2 double C's, 1 C, 2 double C's, 2 C's, and 6 lengths of wood. So that will work out good, and that'll raise it 400mm. I don't have a measure tape on me, but it'll be up to here, which is almost the bottom of that plinth, which is perfect. That way it'll get nice and flat. It'll retain a little bit. You can make it a bit of a slope, but it won't be as much of a slope as that. So yeah, let's call that the next project then. Probably get into that on, if I can tee my dad up, we might even start on that on Monday. I'll go get the stuff over the weekend. He can come on Monday, and while the grass is getting done, me and him can be doing that. I don't think that's going to take a long time. It's literally 4 little holes, mix up some concrete, put your things in. Yeah, I can't see that taking too long. Give it a week to dry, and then go and get some soil and bring some soil in. So yeah, that won't take too long. Let's lock this up. So yeah, I found the keys. He left me the keys nicely. You can see the windows, filthy. So they're definitely going to get sorted on that Monday as well. I think I might be giving myself a little bit too much work, but it's better to have too much than not enough, I think. I've got to cut some keys as well. You only get 2 keys, and I'd like to keep these 2, plus I want another 3 keys. 1 for the real estate agent, 2 for the tenants. So I'll have to go get another 3 copies of that. Other than that, everything else is looking really good. So yeah, all grass here. So I'll just show you what I mean about the grass. So it's going to come up higher than the bricks. She said it'll just peak up a little bit higher than the bricks. All down here. So there'll be 0 sand. There'll be absolutely no sand. That's why I haven't cleaned the windows yet. And then all down here, all grass. It's not gonna be. It'd really do my head in if I was living here to have that amount of leaves on fake grass. But yeah, that's why I don't have any any plants that drop leaves at my place, but there's none here. It's the next door neighbours, but you can't really do much about it. So yeah, it is what it is, and they'll have to just keep on top of it, rake it up, sweep it up, vacuum it up, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of their problem, not mine. Hoist is in, we put that in, and that's it. If anyone's wondering, everyone keeps asking me about this, no one on YouTube but my family, that pipe there. So apparently there's meant to be a water tank here. It connects into that, you cut that, connect it in line with that pipe there, and it feeds all your toilets, so that way you can have a rainwater tank that feeds all your toilets. Sounds good in theory, but the amount of space I have here, you'll probably get about 2 weeks of flushing your toilet and it'll be empty, and then it's dry all summer. It probably won't fill up over winter. You're not going to get thousands, 1,500, I think it was a 1,500 litre tank. I don't think it'd fill up over winter, so there's just no point. There's absolutely no point. So if you've got a big property with lots of space, go for it, but I've literally got 1.5 metres there, and that's the only place that the hoist could go. If you put it on that wall, it's too close to the fence. Here's good. Can't put it here. Obviously can't put it out the front. Can't really put it here because you kind of want to put your nice table over here and have a bit of outdoor space. And then here, there's not a wall. Well, maybe there, but yeah, I don't know why you'd want it there. But yeah, there's just not enough. But anyway, all good. All right, let's leave it there. I am gonna ring my dad up now, and if he gives me the go-ahead for he's retired, so he's free on Monday. I don't know what the weather's doing. I'll drop in a thing. It's going to be hot. there's no way around it. It's going to be hot. It's mid-30s to 40s for a while. I see the big crane there. Hopefully the sun doesn't affect it too much. They're building a massive, I can't remember if it's 9 or 12 stories, but yeah, it's going to be a big apartments up the top, shops down the bottom, a little bit of business in the middle. Like guard park kind of, dog park kind of thing, but up on the 6th or 7th floor or something like that for the people that live there. Elmer it's called, because that's Elmer Road behind us. Elmer Square, I think it's called. If you look it up, Elmer Square, you'll get a I'll drop in a shot anyway of what it's going to look like. It's going to be quite tall. We all got notices. For me, I don't really care. It doesn't matter. That's my sister's house right there. So their house is coming along a bit slower than ours, but it's double story. It's probably twice the size. So yeah, that's why it's taking a bit longer. Yeah, everyone got notices. She got a notice. I got a notice. All these people, they all opposed it. I didn't. I just went, yeah, that'll be cool. That'll make the value of property go up even more, because you've got within walking distance a pub, restaurants, shops. I don't know what businesses they're putting there, but yeah, not sure. But yeah, why not? You're literally 1.8 k's from the city. I don't see how you can complain about people building shops right next to your house, because that's kind of what you signed up for when you bought a house less than 2 k's from the CBD. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So no point fighting that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you don't want things like that, go and live in the bush, pretty much. There's our little retaining wall that me and Dad built. Number one, that's another option, is to build it out of this stuff. The only reason I probably won't, again, because I've got to pay for it. I already had these at my place left over from when we built the house, and I had exactly that many, so I have none left at my joint. So that's all we had left over. So if I had to buy each one of them, it'll cost way more than the wood that's going to go over there, I'd say. And that would be a nice little rather than looking, because that's the main bedroom window over here. So rather than, yeah, so that's your main bedroom window. Rather than just looking at like more bricks, I think it'd be nicer to look at some wood, and yeah, it'll just be a bit nicer to look at, I think. Not much more I can say. Doesn't look like they've damaged anything or scratched the wall, the fence guys, so yeah, all good. I didn't even look out here, but I didn't notice anything, so I think we're good. But yeah, happy with that. That's really good. So I'll flick him the rest of the money now, and we'll call it there. It would have been, I mean, whether he put more plinths or not, I wouldn't mind paying for him if he said there's going to be a gap. Do you want another 3 plinths? And I can, that would have been okay for that side, but it still wouldn't have fixed this side because this needs to come up. So yeah, I'd rather it probably like that. That way, it's kind of one garden bed with the plinth, and the plinths aren't buried. They probably end up sitting just on top of the soil that we're going to put there. I think it's worked out okay. Yeah, I don't think putting more plinths would have fixed the problem on that side, but not on this side. So yeah, unless you put, instead of, like, we've only got the 1 plinth now, unless you go 3 plinths, so 1, 2 and 3, and then flatten this, you could have done that. But I think having a wooden retaining wall will break it up a bit and don't make it so flat and sparse. I think that would look nice with a little garden bed. I've got a tap there. There's no way, well, there is a way. There's a mat way. There's the proper way, which is I don't do that. Which would have been thinking about it before and putting a conduit in there and run it under the bricks here and have retic for here. I'm not putting plants on the lane side. It's no point. I'll just put some mulch or something. The mat way is to go from that tap up, along, make it skip over there and down, and then retic. That's the mat way. The third way is the way it's probably going to end up, and the tenants can get a hose and just water it by hand. If I was living here, I would make it retic on the fence. Yeah, I mean, you could even just go straight up across here, would be the probably more sensible thing to do, and then drop it down and then retic that. That's probably even better, rather than having all these bends and extra length in the air. Yeah, or if you're really keen, you could dig up some brick paving there, but it might be warpy once you're finished. Yeah, I would just go up across along this fence and then down. Yeah, but yeah, it's not my problem. They can just water it by hand. It's a 10 metre hose, even a 5 metre hose would be fine, just to do their little garden bed here if they want it. So I will take some photos. I didn't even bring my phone with me, did I? It's in the car. Yeah, I forgot. My head's just in a different planet today, so I don't even know how I made it here in the car. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. I'll fill you in on the next video what we're going to do there. But I think that's the best way. And another option is called twin side. I'll slip in a photo. It's very similar to what I'm talking about with the wood, but it's concrete. Only thing is, it's not 50 mil wide. It's probably 100. It might be a little bit bulky for here because there isn't a lot of room. And then, one quarter of it is going to be cement post and cement. It's a lot more expensive too. It's not for retaining 400 mil. It's more for retaining 800-900 metre kind of thing. It's a lot stronger than what I'm going to be doing. What I'm going to be doing is for just a planter bed that's 400 mil high. This stuff is more for retaining for a fence or a building or stuff. It's a little bit more structural, a little bit more hardcore, and probably not necessary here. You could do it if you really wanted to, but it'd be 5 times the price of what I'm going to be doing. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12, so 6, 12, so 180 bucks on wood, and about 300 bucks I'd say, including concrete, the posts and the wood, about 300 bucks, and you only got to dig 4 holes. So yeah, I think that's going to work out quite well. I think we'll do that. I've got a string line. That's all you need, is a string line, just to make sure it's all nice and straight, but you got the bricks to follow anyway, so yeah, not an issue there, not an issue at all. So all right, let's do it. I'm gonna ring my dad up right now. I'm gonna get some pictures first, so kind of he can see what I'm seeing, and ring him up, tee it up for Monday, I think, if I can get him. So yeah, cool. See you in the next one. Cheers. It was a while ago. It was like 2 weeks ago when the grass got installed on the 9th of Feb. So yeah, it was a while ago. The fence is in. You'll see the fence in the photos. You'll see the photos now. Boys. Yeah, so they're all in. The fence is in. The gate was in at the same time. Me and the old man made a retaining wall. So the day the day that the grass went in, the 9th of Feb, me and my old man spent pretty much, I was there for 12 hours. I had to get there early to tell them where to dump the cracker dust, because they were going to launch it at the front, which means they would have had to either go the long way around the lane, because it's bitumen, or the short way, but it's sand. When the boys rocked up, they didn't want to do that. Only 2 guys did the whole job. They said, look, let's just put it in the lane. And I said, oh, look, I told them probably not in the lane, because you get in trouble if you're going to block the lane. And he goes, no, it's only a little truck that's coming, like kind of like a big ute. So he said he'll be able to like maneuver it and dump it on the just in front of the garage door, like off the lane. I was like, all right, as long as you guys are going to clean up, because that cracker dust is quite hard to sweep up. It's very heavy. He goes, yeah, no, you won't even know we were here. So we ended up so what we did was 4 screws. I took, you might see it in the photos. I can't remember if I got a photo, but to the right of the garage door, as you're standing in the lane looking at the house, to the right of the garage door, there was a little Phillip fence panel, just so people can't walk down the side of the house. I just zipped that off, took 30 seconds, took that off, and that gave them access from the lane right through to the backyard. And they were loving it, because they pretty much dumped the cracker dust, and then 2 meters away from the cracker dust pile, that's where the grass was starting, at the end of the house there, where the garage door is. So they just started from there dumping, and then they never had to roll over soft sand. So they were loving it. But yeah, they didn't finish till 6:30. It was 6:30 in the at night by the time I got out of there. I had to start. I wasn't doing much from like 3 to 6:30, or maybe 4-ish. Yeah, 4 to 6:30, because I just had to stay there to lock the gate after them when they were done. But I got all the windows done. I got all the outside of the windows done. I didn't do the inside. I was starting to get pretty sore. My back had been standing up for that long. We built the retaining wall. You would have already seen the pictures of that. What else did we do? Just a general clean up on the outside. I didn't touch the inside. Yeah. Anyway, that was a Monday, I think it was. Yeah, that was a Monday. And then the following weekend on the Sunday, me and the missus spent half a day there on a Sunday, and we did all the inside. So cleaned all the windows, shower screens. Not that anyone's ever used the house, but it was just a little bit dirty. It's been sitting since beginning of December. We've been in and out. There was fingerprints on the mirror and stuff like that. So we just gave it a good clean up, knowing that the tenants were like a week away kind of thing, not even. So yeah, did that. And then me and Dad went back on the Wednesday, got another trailer load of cracker dust. So that garden bed required 3 trailer loads that we moved by hand, of landscape fill. So it's not very heavy, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, we had to drive like 4 times really, because you got 3 loads, but then you got to drive back to drop the trailer off. So yeah, took a while. We went back to the same place last Wednesday and did the cracker dust at the front. So there was enough grass left over, offcuts, to be able to grass the whole front. So that worked out really well. So yeah, that's what we did. We just whacked it all in. Nowhere near as good as a job as the guys that did the backyard. I'm very glad we didn't do the backyard. We would have ruined like $3,000 worth of grass, I think, if me and Dad had done it. And it was pretty hard on the back as well. Yeah, so this kind of, okay, so that's the end of the house. So that was the Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, they got the keys. They're in there now. I went past on the weekend. They were out there mucking around out the back near the garage door. I just said hello to them, introduced myself. It just so happened they were there. I didn't go there for that reason. I just drove past. I wanted to show the missus the grass, and they were out there out the back. So just said hello quickly. Seemed like nice people. So yeah, we should be right there, I think. But if you remember, we did that brick paving. You would have already seen the video. The video's, it's not, for me, it's not out yet, but you would have seen it in order. So yeah. Anyway, we did the brick paving. Oh, it might be out. I can't remember now. No, it's not. I think it's next week. Next week, the We Got the Keys video comes out, and we started doing some brick paving. So that's when I stuffed my back up. And this is another reason I haven't done anything for 6 weeks. So this would have been late, just before Christmas. Yeah, did some brick paving on my knees, bending over, stretching, doing all that kind of stuff, and I shouldn't have done it. It would have been cheaper to get someone to do the brick paving rather than the cost I've gone to now with chiropractors. So currently, I started going to a chiropractor just up the road here, not far. I like going, like I don't travel to go to the dentist, the chiro. I like local. I go local. I can't be bothered sitting in a car. So yeah, went to the closest one to me. Had pretty good Google reviews, so I was pretty optimistic about it. She was a female. I've never seen a female chiropractor, and I probably never will again. Nothing against females. There's just some jobs that females aren't strong enough to do, and she was one of them. I'm sure there's some strong females that will put a man to shame. This one wasn't. I went twice, and then I didn't go back again. She just wasn't doing it. My missus is stronger than, she was only little, and she just can't put enough force to do what I needed. If she's working on another female or a kid, probably fine. But for me, she just didn't do anything. So I only went twice, and I've seen three chiros and over the last 20 years, I've seen 3 chiros and a physio, but all males. And all the chiros I've seen have been bigger than me, like 6'3" plus, built like anything, and they do the good job. The physio I saw never did anything the chiro did. It was pretty much just manipulation, massage, and dry needling. So that didn't really matter. But he did fix me a few times. But yeah, I found another chiro not too far. So that one was probably 5 minutes away. This one's 14, 15 minutes away. But yeah, not too far away. And I looked at his photo, and he was big, burly dude. I was like, sweet, I'm going there. Had really good reviews too. So made an appointment there. So Thursday was my last, or a couple Thursdays ago, but it was a Thursday, was my last appointment at the one close by here that I don't like. Woke up Friday in pain, still in pain, and I'd already been twice that week to her, and she'd just done nothing. So I was like, woke up Friday morning, made an appointment for Friday afternoon to go and see this new guy, and thinking I'm going to get an adjustment, and he didn't do an adjustment. I was like, all I need is a crack. I just need to be folded up and cracked, and I should be fine. He goes, look, I'm not going to touch you until we have a scan. So I went for I've never had one before. The ones I've had previously lay down. This one was a stand up in your clothes, and I think you just go like this or something like that with your arms, just to get them out the way, and they get a full 3D scan of your spine. Anyway, made an appointment for Saturday afternoon. I think I went back Saturday morning, sorry. Went back Saturday morning, and he's looking at the scans, and he's like, far out. He goes, you got a few things. When I do things medically, I don't go by halves. I'm all in. I won't say what I've had previous, but it's like, I don't go for one thing. It's like 3 or 4 things. So anyway, sit down with him, and he's like, you got arthritis in your spine. You got a bone spur on 2 of your vertebrae. You got a bulge disc, which I knew about. You can see it in the scan. And you got scoliosis. So my spine goes like that. Rather than be nice and straight, looking at me straight on or from the back, it's an S. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't have any reaction. I'm kind of used to, I knew something was wrong because it's been sore for 6 weeks. It normally doesn't last that long. So he's like, good news is I can make it better. He goes, the bad news is you're going to have to do 90% of the work. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, you got to go to the gym. I'm like, I don't even know how to spell gym. I've never been in one. I've been past one, and that was about it. And I said, look, I'm not really too keen on that. It's not something I'm going to drive to 3-4 times a week. And he goes, no, you've got to do it 5 or 6 times a week. He did a big test on me. So on that first day where he didn't do an adjustment, he just sent me for the scan. He did a test he told me to move, and he put resistance on me. And there was another lady there that one of the receptionists came in to write everything down. And I don't know what he was saying. It was like medical jargon, but he was saying like a number. And I think that was the score of resistance that I was putting back to him. And they were all quite low. My legs were okay, and my arms were not too bad, but anything to do with my back muscles and core was like 1s and 2s. So yeah, he's like, you've got to do something. And he goes, what do you do now? And I told him, I said, look, I go on my exercise bike 15 minutes a day. I do my sauna. And he goes, yeah, that's not doing anything for your muscle though. You need it. You need to do weights. I was like, okay. So here we are. Yeah, that happened. So he was like, no, you've got to do a gym. You've got to do something, and it's got to be like at least 4 to 5 times a week. I was like, okay. So bought that thing. It was like one of the cheapest ones I could find, just in case it doesn't keep happening. Because I was always under the impression that if I do something like that, it's going to hurt my back even more. So that's why I don't do anything. But he's like, nah, you've got to do it, and you'll build your muscle up, and it'll support your spine. Right now, he says my spine is doing like 80-90% of all my lifting, the little muscles. There's no supporting muscle on my back and my core and my arms. So yeah, he's like, you got to build that up. Won't take long. I told him about my fasting. So I've also been doing. I think I did mention it. No, I did mention it in a video, but I scrapped the video. It was. I just watched it again this morning. There was just nothing in the video. So yeah, last month, so February, I did a 4-day fast. So from Sunday to Thursday. So I had dinner Sunday night, and I didn't have dinner until Thursday night. So worked out really well. Didn't feel hungry at all. Felt really good. Slept really nice. Heaps more energy. The stomach kind of went a bit flatter. I lost a little bit on the side. Lost 4.5 kilos in 4 days. A lot of it would have been water. Some of it came back on within a day or two. But I was drinking water, and all I did was drink water and black coffee, and that was it. Black coffee in the morning, black coffee in the arvo, and then water every time else. So yeah, it was all good. Told him about that. Told him about pretty much Monday to Fridays I do 1 meal a day, and then since the fast, I can't actually eat a massive meal anymore. We went out for dinner for Valentine's Day on Saturday, and I just had a main, and I didn't. Normally I'd have an entree, main, and dessert, and then a coffee. I just had the main and a coffee, and that was it. And it was a black coffee too, not one with milk. So yeah, he was pretty impressed with that. When I told him that, I've bought the machine, I'm doing my fasting, I've ramped up the exercise. I'm now doing almost close to an hour a day, including the sauna. So the sauna is not classified as exercise, but it is kind of cardio, because you do have I run mine quite hot, so it's got the thermostat up the top. I've pulled it all the way down, so hot air rises, so it's not seeing the temperature where my head and my upper body is a lot hotter than where the thermostat is. I don't know what I've never had a thermometer in there, but it's hot. You come out pink like a pig kind of thing. You come out quite pink out of it, and it's quite hot. And because I've been using it every day, I'm lasting the full 25 minutes. If you have a week off and then start again, it takes you a good week to get back to the 25 minutes. You can't last. But now I'm currently at 25 minutes. So yeah, 15 minutes on the bike, 25 minutes in the sauna. I spend 10 to 15 minutes out here in the sun, because he said getting vitamin D is very important as well. So yeah, but I've been doing that for a year anyway. So what I was doing was no exercise bike. I was doing sauna and sun, and I've been doing that for the last year, plus the 1 meal a day for probably a year as well. Nothing really much was happening, and I told him that. And he said, yeah, you got to do exercise. So now we're sauna, sun, 15 minutes on the exercise bike. I'm trying to do 20 minutes on this thing. It's good that it works so many different parts of your body, because when you get sore of doing your arms, you flick over to your legs and have a 5-minute break, and then do a different thing with your arms, and then you get sore doing that, sit down and do something else. So I can spend a lot longer on that than on the exercise bike, only because you're getting up and you're doing different things. So that works really good. Eventually that's going inside. That's not staying here. I know it looks funny there. It was the only place I had. It was the only place I've got to keep it. I don't want to put it outside because it's going to get rusty and full of dust. So we are organising the attic guys coming in 2 days, actually, or 3 days, to give us a quote. I already know the prices because his prices are listed on the thing, but he needs to come to make sure he can do it. So we're getting 2 attic ladders put in, which would mean getting rid of a lot of crap out of the 3 bedrooms that we've got. It's all going to go upstairs into a loft space. So they're going to do the ladders, and me and Dad are going to do the floors. and then we'll get rid of a lot of stuff out there. So the room that has my sauna also has all our camping gear on a rack in there. So once all that goes upstairs in the garage, so I'm going to put one ladder in the garage and then replace the manhole with a ladder here. So once that happens and all that stuff goes upstairs, then this is going to go in the same room as my sauna and my exercise bike. And we've just got to keep at it. I'm actually, because I've been doing it now for I only got that a few days ago, but because I've been doing everything else but this for the last 2 weeks probably since I've been seeing the chiro, I'm going 3 times a week to the chiro as well. So this week is 3 times a week. Next week is 2 times a week for 6 weeks. And then it goes to 1 time a week for, I don't know, I can't remember, until the 28th of July is my last appointment. I've got 38 appointments between February and the end of July. So that's how often I'm going. He said there's no point coming once a week because I'm not going to be able to, the adjustment won't last a week. It only lasts a day or 2. So yeah, you got to hit it hard. So I'm there 3 times a week currently. So yeah, hopefully by the 28th of July, it's now end of Feb almost. We should see some results and hopefully get some muscle in my back and my arms and my shoulders, support the back, and then I don't have any more back problems. So I was watching the video. Because I know when I did these lights in here, I had a sore back. So I went back on YouTube, and that was only 4 months ago, and that I had a week off work then as well. So yeah, it's happening too often. So I've got to fix it. So yeah, that would have been October, November, I'd say. When I put these in and had my last sore back. So they're getting worse and they're lasting longer and they're happening more often. So yeah, something's got to change. So all good. Another update. We won't talk about much anymore about that unless something happens. Another thing that I did. So this was my original battery in the little scooter. So got the little Segway. This was my original battery. Perfectly fine, but it's only 10 amp hour. So I was browsing on AliExpress one day. I had no intention of upgrading the battery, but I saw that 18 amp hour battery for $120, I think it was, delivered. So I was like, you can't, but this thing was almost $300, and that's an 18 amp hour for $120. I was like, you can't beat, and with a charger, came with a charger too. And I was like, you can't beat that. So I gave it a shot. I 3D printed a bracket for it, got a new bag to fit it and everything. Went for a ride with my mate who has the exact same scooter. We weigh about the same. We're about 6 kilos off. He has the exact same battery as well, the 10 amp hour. So yeah, he had the 10 amp hour. I had the AliExpress 18 amp hour. We did our normal run where we get back to we start and finish from his house in Caversham. We go all the way to City, South Perth and back again. 50 Ks, normally 48 to 50 Ks. But we did exactly the same ride. We normally get back to within 1% of battery of each other. So we start at 100. We get back to his at 39 to 40% battery. That variation is normally the weather. We've noticed in winter, we might get back at 36-ish%, and in summer, we're closer to the 40%. It's just the batteries don't like the cold, so they're not as efficient. But regardless, we always get back within 1% of each other. Anyway, so yeah, put my 18 amp hour in. Same wiring, I didn't touch it. All I did was just swap the battery out. He still had his 10 amp hour. We get back to his house, we both have 39%. And I was like, okay, that's AliExpress for you, over-exaggerating their battery capacity. So I started up a case. I got some money back. They wouldn't give me all the money back, and they didn't want to ship it back because it's a battery. Would have cost more than the battery probably. I don't know. So I got some money back because I'm like, it's a 10 amp hour battery. Yeah, we just did it. It's exactly the same as what I had before. You guys have just used some dodgy cells or not very big capacity cells, so you've got to use more to get the same capacity as that littler battery because you're using less capacity. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So then we used it again so I charged it up, used it again the next week. We did a ride from here. My mate came to my place and we did a northern run down the coast, all that kind of stuff. We got back here and it was 10% different. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? By this stage, I already had my it wasn't a refund. It was just like a partial refund, I think they called it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, maybe there's nothing wrong with his battery. I felt bad a little bit because I was like, I should have given it a couple of weeks before I actually like a good run. But anyway, yeah, I was 10% higher. I had 10% more battery than what my mate had. So it's like it needed a discharge and a charge and then two uses for it to figure out how big the battery was or something. I don't know. But by this stage, because that battery I thought it was no good, I'd already ordered another one, an 18 amp hour. That's what's in there now. Locally, it took 3 weeks to make it. They made it here. It was a fair bit. It was like 3 times more expensive. But I told him what happened. I said, look, I had a 10 amp hour. Me and my mate got the same scooter, this, that. I said, I'm going to be bench testing it, and if it's nowhere near 18 amp hours, I want my money back. And he goes, you won't have a problem. He goes, we say 18 amperes, it's probably closer to 20. We just do it as a nominal milliamp. Like if it's 23,400 milliamp hour cells they use, they just calculate it on the 2300 and forget about the 400, the 23,000 or 2,340. They just round it to 2,300. They don't worry about the 40 bit. So he goes, normally we're testing around 20 with these ones. So I was like, okay, all right, no dramas. So anyway, last week was the first ride with that, and it was funny as anything. My mate he has range anxiety. If he wouldn't get an electric car because he'd be so stressed out. He'd give himself a heart attack within 6 months. He has mad range anxiety. Knowing full well that we can easily do, with the 10 amp hour battery, we can do 70 Ks on these scooters. We only normally do 50. He won't even do a deviation away from what we normally do, like down a side street to go and check out a new coffee shop. He won't even do that because he's like, oh, I don't know if we're going to last. We did it a few weeks ago. And that's all I heard for the rest of the ride was, oh, Matty, I don't know if we're going to make it. Oh, I'm not sure. He goes, his missus was out shopping. Is your missus home? She can come pick us up in the cars and put these in the... I said, we're fine. He goes, no, don't stress. Anyway, yeah, so last week happened. Proper 18 amp hour, probably closer to 20. And he's losing battery. So the Segway has 5 lights that so you get 5 full bars when you're fully charged, and then the last one will start to flash for a bit, and then it'll fall away, and then the next one will be solid, and then it'll flash. So that's how they work. And he's already dropped a whole bar. So not only has his first one started flashing, he's lost that one, and he's on a solid bar. Mine was still solid 5 bars. We got all the way into the city. Mine was still solid, and I'm like, oh wow, that's the difference of buying a good battery from here rather than some cheap Chinese one. That's not what they say it is. Anyway, we left breakfast, which I've trimmed. No more all day big breakfast for me. I got eggs on toast. So, yeah. Mine started flashing just after we left. We got back to his, and mine was still. I had 58% battery, and he had 40% battery. And yeah, mine was closer to 60 and his was at 40, what it normally is. And yeah, he was flipping out. He goes, oh, I might have to. He's in 2 minds because that's a G2 Max. There is a G3 Max out at the moment. He's in 2 minds whether he upgrades the battery like what I've done or gets a G3 and upgrades the battery. So yeah, not sure. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not upgrading. I've decided I'm going to keep mine. That's why I spent the money on the battery. I should be able to sell those 2 batteries. So that 18 amp hour, I am going to sell it, but I'm not going to sell it as an 18 amp hour. I'll advertise it as a 10, 10 or 15. It's definitely not 10 now that it's had a bit of a workout, but it's definitely not 18 because it's not the same as that. So yeah, I'll sell it as a 10 or 15, $100, whatever, just to get the rest of my money that they owe me out of it. And I'll sell the 10 amp hour for maybe 150 because that is a much better quality battery. And it'll come with a charger, whereas that one won't come with a charger because I've kept the charger for this one. So yeah, is what it is. Doesn't matter. And you would have seen a little montage at the front of the video about not buying a 3D RC plane. And I've been trying not to buy too much stuff. Aerobatics kind of person. Aerobatics are cool, but once you've done them a few times, it's kind of, yeah, it's not as good. I mean, you get to a certain point where you're just doing stuff to break a plane almost. I bought a 3D RC plane. yeah, I don't know. I haven't even really taken it out. I just took it out of the box to make sure it was okay. Because when it did rock up, the box was quite damaged. I was looking at I'll put a screenshot in. It's called a Flex Innovation Extra, same size, 1200 wingspan. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's been out for 8 years. So it's 8 years old. Not, you know, the one they send me is going to be brand new, but the actual plane has been out for 8 or 9 years. If you go back on YouTube, there's videos from 9 years ago when it first came out. So yeah, I wasn't too keen on that. And then, so I wasn't too keen on that. This has been out for a lot less time. The quality is probably not as good. The foam is actually quite nice. So I don't know how they've managed that, old Hobby King. But you can see like the stickers are peeling a little bit. So I'm going to have to do a bit of work on this one. I'm not going to build this one on camera. This is going to take, even though it's still a plug and play, which is, so my Sportix, when you saw me build the Sportix, that was a bind and fly. So the receiver was already in there. You bind it, you go for it, no dramas. 15 minutes, you just whack a few things together. The Cessna and the Glider were a plug and play, which is what this is. So you have to plug in your receiver and then build it, but everything's kind of there. This is what this is. You can see the servos are in, but there's no linkages. That's up to me to do. All the inside stuff is up for me to do, to organise where the battery goes, where all that stuff kind of goes. You can kind of tell how long it's going to take you by this. So, by how much extra... Ooh, where'd that go? Just by the extra bags of junk. So you got a heap of screws. That must be all your hinge... Oh, why is there hinges in there? Oh, that's for the rudder. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, because you can't put the rudder on until you put the elevator on. Yeah, so that's what I mean. This is going to take a lot longer to build. So I won't be doing that on camera. We'll definitely do the Maiden on camera. But yeah, I've been watching everyone else fly. So my Sportix that I have is not really a 3D plane. So 3D means, so that one there with the yellow wings, that's more of a sport, fasty kind of maneuverable plane, more realistic aerobatics. This thing will hover like a, instead of flying that way, it'll hover like a helicopter. It'll do all sorts of stuff, and you can kind of tell by the size of the surfaces. So that's your aileron. You can see here, like most of the elevator moves. So this bit stays still, and this bit is all your maneuverable. So, and the rudder, where's the rudder here? So you can see like, they're the vortex generators for the ends of the wing, or whatever they're called. You can see how big the rudder is compared to the actual vertical stabilizer. The rudder is like 60% the size of that, and that's what's going to flick your plane around. So, yeah, and apparently this is a V2, so it comes with, oh yeah, nice. Comes with carbon fiber landing gear, and it should come, yes, with ball link rather than Z-bends. It has Z-bend on one side and ball link on the other side. One thing I haven't noticed is instructions. Okay. Oh, okay. I think AliExpress do a thing. Not AliExpress, sorry, Hobby King. I used to thrash Hobby King back in the day. There was a guy, he was an Aussie guy that owned it, but he sourced everything from China, obviously, because that's how it was so cheap. But I haven't lately, because when I bought all these planes, their prices have just gone. Like I said, everything's gone up, but they went from like a budget-friendly option to just as expensive as Model Flight, which is Australian-based. You'll get your plane in 2 days, 3 days. So it's like, well, if it's the same price, I'm just going to buy it from Model Flight. Different planes, because that's a Hobby King plane. But I mean, you could get an E-Flight plane, which is way better quality from Model Flight. Get it faster, same price, so it doesn't make sense. So yeah, they kind of price themselves out of the market a little bit for me, so I don't really use them anymore. Same with, they do like really cheap servos and really cheap speed controllers. you can bowl that on AliExpress for half the price now. So that's what I've been doing. So yeah, that's why I haven't used Hobby King lately. I check every now and again. They sometimes have new things. This was half price. They had it on special. So I was like, oh, that's... So the Flex Innovations extra 300 was $400. None in stock at the moment, so I was going to wait for it anyway. This thing worked out to... It was $350. And then because I saw it and then I started reading some reviews about it and I was on that page for a while, they chucked in another 5% to kind of sweeten the deal a bit. So as soon as they did that, it came down to $3 and free delivery over $100 too. So they normally don't do free delivery. They're having some sale on. So yeah, it worked out well. It's like $330 delivered, plug and play. So theoretically, all I need is a battery, which I already have. It runs on the same batteries as I already have. The only thing is, planes say that they are 3S or 4S. So that's your battery voltage. So 3S is 12 volt, 4S is like 15 volts. So obviously the motor is going to spin faster, create more amps, more heat. But if you have stuff that can take it, you're pretty good. I don't know what size motor. Like it didn't come with... Oh, here we go. It's on the box, is it? Oh, the instructions are on the box. That's weird. I've never seen that before, but I can't even see what motor it is. Oh, here we go. No, so there's 0 numbers on the motor. So typically for 4S, and I think this is a 13. It's a 13 by 4 prop, which means it's 13 inches in diameter. Let's have a quick look. That doesn't have inches. None of my tapes have inches, I don't think. Oh, here we go. Yep, so it's a 13-inch prop, you can see there. And then the by 4 means if this prop, so 0, if it was in like a fluid, like a jelly or something, air's a fluid, but it's harder to describe. If it was in a jelly or something like that, and that's 12 o'clock, and that's 180, 360, that's the pitch, it would have gone forward 4 inches. So you can get a 13 by 1 prop. I don't know, actually you can't get a 13 by 1 prop, but if it was a 13 by 1 prop, it'd be the 13 inches. A 360 revolution would make it go forward 1 inch. This is a 13 by 4. So a 360 revolution makes it go forward 4 inches. So the 13 inches gives you torque. The 4 inches of pitch gives you speed. And with the 3D plane, you don't want speed. You're not interested in speed. You're interested in torque. So yeah, that's how you prop a plane. The only thing is, because it's 3S or 4S, with a 13-inch prop at 4S, that's quite powerful. So you really want a low kV motor, like an 800 kV. That I dare say that's going to be 1100, because it can fly on 3S, and all that means is 1100 or 800. What I was talking about there, kV means how many revolutions per volt. So that's at its max as well. So say if it's a 1000 kV motor and you're running 12 volt to it, then that's 12,000 RPM. So yeah, if you go up with 4S, then you go down with your kV. So it is tricky to get a plane to fly on 3 or 4S, where you can just, normally the thing you change is the prop. So you might run a 14 by 7 on 3S, and then a 12 by 5 on 4S, just to kill the amps. But anyway, I was reading the reviews, and they reckon everything's pretty good on it. It's got digital Metal Gear servos, all that kind of stuff. But the speed controller lets it down. A few people have flown it on 4S, and the smoke comes out, and you crash the plane, because once the speed controller goes, that's what's controlling power to the motor and to the servos. You can lose motor power, no problems. You can just land it if you're kind of set up for it. But if you lose control of your servos, that's it. It's plane gone. So yeah, so that's what's gonna. I've already ordered a, not from Hobby King. I got it from AliExpress because they were a lot cheaper. It's called a red brick. They come up with these funny names. Yeah, it's they used to be called a plush controller, which they were red, and then they came out with a different version and they call them a red brick because they literally look like a red brick. That's only got a 40 amp speed controller. I bought an 80 amp speed controller, so that way we keep the heat out of the speed controller and we should be right on 4S then. The next thing that's going to go, the only thing that'll blow up now would be the motor. So it's pretty much it's in my bag there already. I've got an infrared thermometer. So you might fly it for 3 minutes, give it some, full throttle goes on 4S and all that, land it and check the temperature. Once you start seeing, so they're a magnet-based motor, they're a brushless motor, and all it does is a magnet chases another magnet around to make it spin. There's no brushes or anything. It's non-contact. It's only got bearings. That's the only thing that moves in it. There's no brushes like a brushless. There's no brushes like a brushed motor. They're a brushless motor, so they're just magnets. I guarantee you they're not the good Japanese magnets. So about 80 degrees Celsius is where the magnets start losing magnetization. You'll blow a motor. You can get the really good quality motors, which would probably cost half of what that plane cost. You can push them to about 100 before the magnets start losing magnetization. But yeah, you want to keep it below 80 degrees and you're sweet then. So that's what I'll do is I'll just check it. That's another thing to do on a maiden is check temperatures. I'm pretty sure an 80 amp speed controller where there was a 40, that's not even going to get warm. That'll be fine. The battery might get a little bit warm, but probably not. The motor, we expect it to get warm, but not any more than 80. That's what you just got to watch for. That's the magic number. Once you starts getting a bit beyond that, then you're going to start melting things and melting windings and stuffing your magnets up. So all good. What else is going on? Let's go for a quick. The Commodore. So the other week when I went there to do the grass and I brought my own RO water, I got the 30 litre tank up there. You can see it there. That 30 litre tank, it's got a tap at the bottom, which is not the greatest design in the world. It's only held on by a few threads. We filled that up with 30 litres of water, RO water, to go and do the house. All going really good. We were almost at the house, and if you can imagine, we're driving. So I'm in the right lane. There's a bus in the left lane ahead of me, way ahead of me. It's peak hour traffic too, it would have been pretty busy. It was 6:30 in the morning, 6:30, almost 7 in the morning. So yeah, pretty busy traffic. Anyway, there's a bus in the left lane. I'm in the right lane. I always stay in the right lane. It's only a 60k road, so you're allowed to stay in either lane, plus it's peak hour. But I always stay in the right lane because I know that there's always buses. Like every 3 minutes there's a bus going down that road. So you just stay in the right lane and avoid it. Anyway, this idiot, he was right behind the bus. And for some reason, it was a massive surprise that the bus was going to stop at the bus stop. So he slammed his brakes on, backed everyone up in the left lane, and he's just whacked his right indicator on. I don't think he had an intention to actually just dive in because there was cars everywhere. So there wasn't even a gap for him. But anyway, the person in the right lane, who was like 6 or 7 cars in front of me, or maybe 5 cars in front of me, must have seen what happened, seen his right indicator on, and just hit the anchors to let him in. And I'm like, what are you doing? You realise there's like 10 cars behind you in both lanes, and there was just cars going everywhere. It was just like left and right, there was cars. And then I heard glonk, look. I was like, oh no. And that thing had tipped over. The thing came off it. It was leaking out of the lid. I was like, you are joking me. And then, so the boot was full of water. So I quit. Luckily there was a bus bay to the left. I pulled into the bus bay. I didn't even get out of the car. I just undid my seatbelt, went in the back, and I flicked it back up. But I didn't know that the tap at the bottom, I thought it was only leaking from the top. I didn't know the tap at the bottom had come out. So I just tightened the tap up, tightened the lid up, and I kept driving. And then I got to the next set of lights, put the brakes on. It was like a waterfall in the car. All the water that was in the boot just went, you could hear it go all over the back seat. And I was like, oh, you are joking me. So, yeah, not good. got to the house, figured it out that it was leaking, but because the lid was so tight and the hole at the bottom, it wasn't just pouring out, it was because of the air pressure. So I lost about 5, maybe 10 litres of water, I think. But because I had that boot mat, I ripped the boot mat out, and there was probably 5 litres of water on that. Plus I had a drop sheet, painter's drop sheet down, so that soaked a lot of the water up. So estimation, probably maybe just under 5 litres of water went in the car, around on the carpet and on the back seat. And I was just like, yeah, you got to be joking me. Yeah. So I'll put a picture in. You can see how I managed to dry it out. I just I left all the windows down. I left all the doors open during the day when it was a bit hotter in the garage. And then at night time, I'd close it up, put all the windows up and close it, and I'd run my dehumidifier all night. And you can see there how much water came out of it. But yeah, I went to clean it the other day, and I didn't realise I've got a rear mat, but it's one piece, and I've totally forgot about it. It fits so perfectly; it looks like carpet. You don't even know that it's a mat because it goes right over the tunnel and everywhere. Anyway, I ripped that up because the car was filthy because we'd been going to get cracker dust and sand, and the place where you go there is just all sand. There's no floor. So the car was pretty filthy, but we're finished with that now. So I gave it a good clean yesterday, and I took the mat out, and I could see like this white powder. I was like, what's that? And it was mold. So mold had already started in there, and the carpet was still a little bit damp. So yeah, I'm still drying it out now. But I've left the mat out. I've cleaned it out. I've put an antibacterial or anti-fungus kind of spray that I had in there, so it doesn't smell anymore. It did smell the other day. Once I kind of took that mat out and exposed the mold and kind of got my compressor with the Tornador nozzle, it must have mixed it up, and you could really smell like wet dog a little bit. But anyway, yeah, hopefully that's fixed now. There's a fair bit of water. That might have been what the dogs were barking at. I just ordered a big, I think it's like 1.3 kilos of damp rid. So that's going to stay in the car now. That way, because I can't run the dehumidifier, it's a 240 volt dehumidifier. I can't run that while I'm driving. So that way it'll stay in the car. I'll leave the windows up, and all the moisture can just get sucked into this thing now. And yeah, hopefully it pulls most of it out. We'll see. Yeah, but that was a bit disappointing. I was almost there, and I kind of said to I didn't strap it up because I had it on an anti-slip mat. I had a heap of stuff in the boot, so I just thought there was no way this thing could tip over like doing normal driving, but the amount of brakes I had to use to avoid a crash, it was just unavoidable. It was going to tip over. So yeah, it doesn't matter. What else is there? But yeah, good that that's finished now. I'm kind of over that house a little bit. I don't know how many times I've driven there. It's a good, in traffic, it's like 35 minutes from my place. In no traffic, it's about 15 minutes. But most of the times I've been going there, it's been in traffic. So I haven't even been flying that much. I flew on Friday, but I haven't flown for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I think, just because I've been busy at that place doing things. So yeah, I'm glad that's kind of all done now. So yeah, that's good. That's about it. I'll just switch off. I'll go for a walk, see what else there is, and yeah, I'll get back to you. Yeah, nothing pressing. All good. I just checked on AliExpress, so that there's no rush to build a plane because the speed controller, I'm not flying it with that speed controller, so it's not worth the risk. And the new one, the 80 amp speed controller, is not due till the 5th of March. Delivery period 1st to the 6th of March, and it says if it comes after the 5th, I get a $2 bonus. Wicked. I'm not expecting that anytime soon. So, I'll probably get onto it before then, but I'm not going to rush it and do it today, or try and do it all in one sitting. I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. That's all good. But yeah, 80 amp speed controller, $30. You can't go wrong with that. That's used to be that it was like $1 per amp, so an 80 amp would cost $80. And when I first started, it was even more than that. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. I think that's long enough. Just an update, and absolutely we're not doing anything in this video. I may turn the camera on when I make that plane, and we'll just do a quick time lapse, and then I'll just go through any dramas that I had with it. It looks pretty good. I mean, yeah, it looks pretty good. It has been out, like I said, for 4 or 5 years. So any dramas they would have fixed. That's why that one's a V2. So yeah, but I can see there's a few areas where I'm going to have to add a little bit of extra Gorilla Glue and a little bit of this and that, and just beef up a few things. So yeah, it's always the way with the cheaper the plane, the more work you got to do to make it stronger. So yeah, but anyway, I think we'll leave it at that. I don't know when this video will come out. Like I said, it's like 22nd of Feb. So yeah, this might come out until end of March, I reckon. I think I'm still about 4 weeks ahead at the moment, which is good because that gave me that buffer to get over my back and everything. So yeah, just wasn't sleeping. I'd wake up at 1 o'clock and I'd go to bed at like 9:30, 10, and I'd wake up at about 1 and I couldn't stay in bed any longer. I had to come out on the couch and sleep on the couch in a sitting up kind of position. Just couldn't lay down anymore. My pelvis was just throbbing. So yeah, no good at all. And the hips weren't liking it. Hips and pelvis, so that was my main issue. It wasn't really my back as much as it was my pelvis and my hips. So yeah, so we'll get onto the exercises as much as I don't like doing them, but yeah, I do kind of look forward to doing them now a little bit. Now that I've done it for a couple of weeks. Yeah, it does make you feel good. I understand why people do it now. I was kind of on the other boat before. There's no way I'd ever be like a gym junkie and go, protein shakes and things like that. I'm not interested in any of that. But yeah, I can understand it does make you feel good. So yeah, it is good. And if it fixes my back, I'll do it. I'll give anything a shot once to fix my back up. That's for sure. Stop getting sore backs. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Otherwise, we're just going to make this video too long. So yeah, we'll catch you on the next one, and hopefully we'll be building that. So yeah, see you later.